questions on for yourself. So you can pick up this book at drjohnwynn.com and let us know if you need it. We'll ship it out to you, as well as the movie. Now, the movie you can get right now. You can watch it right after this presentation, or and tell somebody. Please share this with someone. Tell somebody about John Wynn's play.
It's important to understand the background, where the book really came from, that it's not just a fictional story, but it's about your life.
Well, what happened when I wrote this book about 13, I think it was, what year was it? About maybe in '07? In '07, October 30th, 2007, I was on a treadmill, and I experienced breaking my left femur. I broke my left femur, and I flew off the treadmill. And as I broke my left femur, I was going through the therapy and the rehabilitation, and in therapy they broke it again. So it broke again, and so I found myself in an emotional, mental state of destitute, and I was just broken. I said, Lord, how did you allow this to happen to me twice? I wanted to get myself together, and so I realized that when I went through this, I had some issues that I had with God, and I was frustrated. I was angry. I was confused. Here I am doing everything for the church, preaching, pastoring, helping people, and I'm here laying on my back with a broken leg, and not only just that one time, but then the next one thinking I'm getting better, it breaks again. So now I have to go through another surgery, major surgery operation. So as I was going through that surgery and operation, I got a phone call from a prophet, Prophet Hawley. He says, God said, write down everything that you're feeling. He's getting ready to birth another book out of you. Because this is my second book. I have another book called New Levels, New Devils that deals with the media. And I wrote that back in '97, and I talk about everything that's happening right now. So I began to write down all this thing. I mean, I just poured out every pain of mine, every pain. And every morning I would wake up from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock and just write. And I finished the book, and my wife, she's my editor, and she looked at it, and she began to pull, no, we're not talking about this. And it was painful for her because she was involved with it as I was. So we began to write the book, and I wrote the book, finished the book, and I was getting ready to print it, and I didn't do it, and I just put it on the shelf for about 3 years. And then after I became healed from the traumatic thoughts and in my heart, and me overcoming, breaking my leg, and if you understand me, I couldn't sit still. So I was always moving. I never sat still. And for me to break my leg was like I couldn't travel. I stopped traveling. I couldn't go nowhere. I was pastoring 3 churches at that time. I was trying to do the Lord's work. And here I am saying, Lord, how am I doing your work in this state and broken? And as I went through that trauma, God began to reveal to me that you're not wrestling with me. You're wrestling with your little mind, your insecurities, your worries, your fears of what you are, what you've been through, from losing your father at 15 years old, from losing your baby sister when she was 19 years old, from the churches going through all type of challenges, from taking on 2 and 3 different churches, and the burden that you had to face with all 3 of those churches, and the heavy lifting that you were doing at 27, 30, 32 years old, 33, 34 years old. And I had all this weight on my shoulders, trying to do things as unto the Lord. But God was letting me know, hey man, you're in my way. That's what he told me. He said, you've been in my way. He said, you're doing all this stuff for this one and that one and this and that, and that's not what I've given you to do. Thank you, but that's not what I've given you to do. So I began to wrestle with this, and then he gave me this book, and I put it on the shelf for 3 years, and after I read it, I said, oh my God, what good is this book and there's no remedy? What good is going through pain and trauma and circumstances and issues of your mind, and you don't give people an answer? So I went through a book after I got healed. God gave me a book. In fact, I put a whole curriculum together for young people called Youth Empowered to Succeed. And as I was developing that book, I started putting some of the same Q&A in my book to help people know that this is what I went through. This is what people did to me. This is how family acted towards me. But these are the remedies. Here's the way to change your frame of mind. So what you have to do, the Playhouse deals with the same thing, changing the frame of mind of what has happened to you as a child, or what has happened to you in a relationship or a marriage, or mishandled, or somebody misplacing their, or misusing you, or putting or somebody you trusted that violated your trust. So you have to learn how to change your mindset in order to move forward. Because otherwise let me tell you something. If you use fear, anger, and pain to go to your next level for success, you're going to have to find another pain and another hurt and another traumatic situation in order for you to go to the next success. Because if that's what fuels you, then you're going to look for the same pain, the same fear, the same trauma, in order to refuel, rekindle your fire so you can keep moving. I've seen some people do it. They have to get mad at somebody else to keep going forward. And that's what Shaq and Michael Jordan would do. They would make up stories to get them mad so they could win their battle. So you have to go from one extreme to the next to win. But when you have the favor of God, when you have the peace of God in your mind, and you have the permission of God to go forward, then you just rest in Him. And that's what this is about, overcoming these things and giving people help in times of adversity. Is it any more fair?
Yeah, share with us the process of making a film like this, where it's loosely adapted from the book, but still trying to tell separate stories than your own.
Well, I think some of the stories, some people said, "What, did you go through this?" Well, my cousin saw it. He said, "You must have a dark side." No, it's not that you have a dark side. It's things you have been experienced to as, or privy to from a pastor perspective, or people you have had encountered in your life that you realize they had these different situations happen that you had to counsel or you developed, or even things that we've written or wrote about that we personally experienced. And we just try to give that real life experience of things that we know that has either happened indirectly to us or things that have happened directly to us, to try to bring a realism, but yet with entertainment. And Curvin Smith, he's very well received in the movie. He plays Dr. Williams, and he uses peculiar methods to bring these to stir up those things that are in those actors and actresses in the movie, to get them to talk, to get them to open up, to unload themselves from the burden and this trauma that they've been carrying for so many years. So I think the process of making the movie is that you just take real life experiences along with the faith of the Lord, giving you direction on how to tell a story. That's what we did. So how He gave it to us, how we told the story, we begin to bring it all together. And then, like I said, one thing about it, Farrah, you don't know what a movie's going to be until it's finished. I mean, there's so many different scenarios. There's so many different things going on. You just try to do your best to bring out your creativity. And the actors, my goodness, they don't even remember what they were doing and what they don't remember what they were saying. So I think it's a beautiful thing when you have the music right, you have the acting right, you have the chemistry there, and then you pray and say, Lord, give us favor with this film, and you put it together. So the process varies from film to film.
So being an African American in the filmmaking space, yet telling inspirational stories, bringing entertainment, and not necessarily telling what they call black stories might be a little bit taboo.
Give me some water,
Tell us
please.
what your experience is like, not talking about being in the hood or the ghetto or growing up with all these different things, but just telling good stories.
Well, I think telling good stories and not growing up in the hood. I grew up in Reno, Nevada. So, and I'm not going to tell you what a police officer told me where Reno, Nevada stands for. But I will tell you this, that my experience, as I've come from a Christian home. So my mother and my father, they raised us in a Christian home. So I was raised in a Christian home, not from the perspective of a Christian home, but from the perspective of a lifestyle Christian home. My mother and father lived what they preached and practiced to us. So because I saw what they preached and practiced to us as real people, I was good. So I got the real deal at home. And if we did have challenges, now one thing about my mother and father, my father never said, do this because I'm a pastor or do this because I'm a community leader. And my mother never said, do this because I'm a woman of God. No, no, no. They taught us principles of morality, principles of the word. And my father said, if the word is still right, even if I do wrong. So they taught us the principles of the word. So my thing was coming up in a home that was practiced what they preached, and growing up. So my stories are more relative to traumatic things that have happened in people's lives, whether it's mine, whether it's others. But that's how it comes. That's how my stories are birthed. And I want to tell good stories that have some validity of realness in it, because I don't think any good movie that's ever real, every good movie has a sense of real touch, a real emotion. I love what even Steven Spielberg, he said when he wrote E.T., that was his father leaving home when his mother and father got divorced. And he used E.T. as this metaphoric type of situation. Close Encounters of the Third Time was a real conversation, he said, between his mother and father. So he used real things that happened in his childhood to bring to the big screen. And Hollywood was kind of upset with him, he said, because he said they said you were using more escapism than art. And I think you know the difference in art and escapism, where people would escape more for a good fantasy or a good idea. And I kind of like to escape, because Back to the Future helped me escape, and one of my favorite movies, because that helped me to deal with my father. I didn't know this until like maybe 4 years ago, that movie Back to the Future helped me deal with my father's death. And so I think movies to me speak to me. So I think I look at a lot of plethora of movies. I don't just look at ghetto movies. Like Boys in the Hood spoke to people that lived in that environment. Fridays After Next spoke to African Americans that came up in that environment. I grew up, like I said, in Reno, so I understand Back to the Future. I understand Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I understand those type of stories, because that was my environment. Was more Caucasian driven than African American driven. I mean, we were the first black family that lived in Huffaker Hills. So that's where our story came from, and we were there many, many years before anybody else of color moved in the neighborhood. And then too, I was 2 or 3 blacks was in the school district, in the whole school, in elementary school, middle school. Middle school we had more, and then Worcester, I think we had the most blacks when I started, which was 12 out of a class of maybe 1,000. I don't know, 5, 7, 800, I don't know, and there was only 12 of us. So I come from that experience of a melting pot of races.
Well, the final question is, not only do you make films, but you actually own a video on demand platform where you allow other content creators to put their content on your platform. What inspired you to get into that space?
Holy Ghost, the Spirit of God said, I've given you media, I give you media, publishing, and music, and you've done nothing with it. And the next day it opened up. And that's what inspired me to be on this platform. And I've been fortunate to see all the content that we do have, and there's more content to come. We got new producers, Mom Boss. She's one of the newest producers that's on our platform, that's talking about women that are single, that are trying to make it, and they are making it in business. And this is her first season. She's got a second season coming. We have the Azusa music with Carlton Pearson. He's allowed me to host his when back in the 90s when I went to Azusa, which changed my life in 92, 93, 92, when Donnie McClurk was there, changed my life, and made me really see that God is really bigger than what my mind had God. So we have the Azusa tapes. In fact, he called me the other day, or texted me the other day, and said, pretty soon we're going to have the messages that were being preached in Azusa. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Bishop Cole, if you want prayer late at night, or even just want prayer during the day. In fact, we're going to be adding a whole lot of prayer on there if you need prayer for healing or for your family, for a loved one. You'll be able to go on there and listen to prayer on video on demand. And late at night, you'll be able to hear church. I try to keep it spiritual from 12 midnight to 6 to give you some music of ministry or some teaching during the week. And then on Sunday, we dedicate all day Sunday to the gospel format. So I have something for Christians. Then we have movies. We have plenty of movies. We have some of our stuff is, I think we have contemporary content, because some of it carries language, no nudity, but language, and where people can watch films, and we're just growing, and we want to get some more movies in there, like Rocky 2 and Rocky 3 and all that stuff. So it's just taking time to license this stuff, but also we're just excited to be in the space to give people an opportunity even to bring their content to the platform.
So that is the extent of the questions that we have for now. Is there anything else that you want to share in closing?
Listen.
How they can get access to the content?
Yeah, you could go to the content again. You could watch John Wynn's Playhouse on WynnNetwork.com. You can download it for free, and it's $5.99 right now. And then, of course, you could go to, if you want to watch my first movie, John Wynn's Mirror Mirror, you could go to Tubi, Tubi, download it free, and you could watch it. Search. You could go to the search to John Wynn's Mirror Mirror, and that's JOHNWY as in yellow, NNS, Mirror Mirror, and you could watch the content there. So other than that, just keep staying with us, connect with us, write us, support our cause. And because you never know when you might have an idea and you want to go to the next level and you might need some support and help. I promise you, you will, because everybody in this space, you don't get too much people telling you anything. You just got to go with it, and God may give you people to help you through it. So I thank God for giving us people to help us through these different things. And remember, greatness knows no limits. So stay tuned. We got a new movie coming. It's going to be hot.
Yeah.
It's so nice in here. I am ready, okay? I know this is supposed to be about therapy, but this is about to be a nice little getaway.
May I have your attention, please?
This is the retreat I was telling you about. I could teach you a few things.
Oh, hell yeah.
You are all very blessed to be having your therapy sessions conducted here by Dr. Williams.
I am Dr. John Williams. Welcome to the Playhouse. You're going to experience some things over the next couple of days that are going to be mind-boggling. But you will never leave the same.
What's so special about the playroom?
Some say it's haunted.
It's weird about this presence.
What kind of doctor are you?